paradox of chaos. What if the chaos in your life is not a sign that something is wrong, but proof that something is finally moving? What if the endings you're resisting are not losses, but alignments you haven't learned how to recognize yet? Because here is the paradox no one prepares you for. Life often looks like it's falling apart right before it comes together. And if you're watching this right now, if your heart feels heavy, uncertain, if the ground beneath you feels unstable, this message didn't find you by accident. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. When everything feels unstable, there are days when the unease doesn't come from the question, who am I? But from a much more practical one. How am I going to get through this month? You open your bank app. The number isn't zero, but it's shrinking. And somehow, that feels worse. You start doing mental math everywhere you go, skipping meals you used to enjoy, canceling plans you actually wanted to keep, putting things back on the shelf, not because you don't need them, but because you have to choose. Your job keeps you alive, but it no longer feeds your spirit. And leaving feels terrifying because bills don't pause for self-discovery. So you stay. At night, you lie awake, your mind bouncing between dreams and deadlines, between who you want to become and what you need to survive. The hardest part isn't the lack of money. It's the quiet realization that you're trading pieces of your life not to live, but simply to make it through. And something inside you knows this was never meant to be the end of your story. Why this happens? The invisible order. Here is a truth that changes everything. Life does not evolve in straight lines. It evolves in cycles. Psychology calls this transition stress. The disorientation that occurs when an old identity dissolves and a new one has not yet formed. Carl Jung called it the dark night of individuation, a necessary phase where the false self breaks down so the authentic self can emerge. Neuroscience shows us that the brain must dismantle old neural patterns before new, more integrated ones can take their place, and spirituality has always known this. Nothing meaningful is born without disruption. Stars collapse before they ignite. Forests burn before they regenerate. Storms rearrange the atmosphere before the sky clears. You are not exempt from this law. Your chaos is not random. It is purposeful. It is intelligent. You are not watching your life fall apart. You are witnessing it reorganize. Metaphor. The storm and the sky. Imagine standing beneath a violent storm. The wind is loud. The rain is relentless. Visibility is low. From inside the storm, everything feels out of control. But above the storm, the sky is untouched, still, vast, clear. The storm is movement. The sky is awareness. Right now, you are inside the storm of change, but you are the sky. Your awareness is expanding faster than your circumstances can catch up. The storm is not destroying the sky. It's moving within it. And just like every storm in nature, this one has a direction. It is clearing something, making room, preparing space, the illusion of falling apart. Let's talk honestly. When something ends, your mind labels it as failure. When something breaks, your mind calls it loss. But the mind is trained to seek certainty, not truth. Think about your past. Think about the moments you thought you were losing everything. The breakup that shattered you until it freed you. The door that closed until it redirected you. The version of yourself you outgrew. until you became someone stronger, clearer, truer. You didn't fall apart then. You rearranged, and you were doing it again now. Only this time, the shift is deeper, not just external, internal. Your values are changing. Your priorities are shifting. Your tolerance for misalignment is disappearing. This isn't destruction. This is refinement. The universe clears before it builds. Here is how alignment actually works. The universe cannot add to a life that is already full of what no longer fits. So before it gives, it clears. Before it aligns, it rearranges. Before it opens a new path, it closes the old one. Here is why the universe works this way. Not as punishment, not as chaos, but as design. Nothing in nature grows by addition alone. Growth always begins with release. Your body sheds old cells so new ones can form. Your brain weakens old neural pathways so new understanding can emerge. Even forests must burn before the soil becomes fertile again. This is not destruction. It is intelligence at work. And your life follows the same law. The universe cannot place something new into a space already occupied by what no longer fits. So before it gives, it clears. Before it aligns, it rearranges. Before it opens a new path, it gently closes the old one. That's why confusion appears before clarity. That's why endings arrive before beginnings. That's why discomfort comes before growth. The job you've outgrown. The relationship that no longer matches who you're becoming. The identity you've been wearing out of habit, not truth. They don't fall away because you failed. They fall away because your life is preparing to expand. What feels like loss is often precision. What feels like chaos is often choreography. And if things are leaving your life right now, it's not because you're being taken from. It's because you're being made ready. The mistake we make during transition, when things feel uncertain, we do one thing instinctively. We try to control. We rush decisions. We force answers. We cling to what's familiar, even when it hurts. But control during transition creates friction. It's like gripping puzzle pieces before the picture is clear. You can't force the image to appear by squeezing the pieces harder. You have to step back. Let the pieces move. Let the pattern reveal itself. Because alignment is not something you create. It's something you allow. Reframe. From breakdown to realignment. Here is the reframe that changes everything. You are not falling apart. You are coming together in a way you have never experienced before. Your old structures are dissolving because they can no longer support the level of awareness you're reaching. This phase is not about answers. It's about trust. Trusting the process before the picture makes sense. Trusting the pause before the movement. Trusting the silence before the clarity. When you stop labeling this phase as wrong, your nervous system relaxes. Your intuition strengthens. Your perception sharpens. You begin to see patterns instead of problems. What it feels like when things begin to align. At first, the shift is subtle. You feel lighter in moments that used to feel heavy. You stop forcing conversations that no longer resonate. You feel drawn to rest, reflection, solitude, not out of sadness, but out of preparation. Then clarity arrives in fragments, a realization here, a sign there, a synchronicity that feels too precise to ignore. You begin noticing. The right people appear at the right time. Old anxieties lose their grip. Your intuition becomes quieter, but clearer. Decisions feel simpler, even if they're not easier. This is alignment entering the body before it enters the world. Metaphor. The puzzle coming together. Imagine a table covered in puzzle pieces. At first, they look random, disjointed, meaningless. You can't see the image yet, so it feels chaotic. But piece by piece, the picture begins to form. Suddenly, you understand why certain pieces couldn't stay where they were. They belonged somewhere else. Your life is the same. What looks like scattered pieces is actually a picture assembling itself. You just haven't stepped back far enough to see it. The transformation arc. As this new understanding begins to settle, the change doesn't happen all at once. At first, it's only internal. They stop asking, "How do I fix everything?" and start asking, "What is life asking me to do differently?" Fear doesn't disappear, but it no longer drives every decision. Instead of forcing clarity, they allow curiosity. Instead of gripping the future, they focus on the next honest step. And that's where the shift becomes real. Not in thought, but in action. They stop staying late at a job that drains them and begin setting boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. They stop saying yes out of fear and start choosing what aligns, even if it's quieter, slower, less certain. They update the resume. They send the message they've been avoiding. They take the class. They rest when their body asks for rest. Small actions, but aligned ones. And that's when life responds. Not with miracles, but with movement. A conversation opens. An opportunity appears. A decision feels clear instead of forced. Because the universe doesn't answer wishes alone. It answers motion. And when action and alignment meet, things don't explode into place. They settle, softly, precisely, and unmistakably right. The cosmic view from a cosmic perspective. Nothing in the universe is chaotic. Galaxies collide to create new stars. Atoms rearrange to form new matter. Expansion requires disruption, and you are part of that same intelligence. Your life is not being dismantled. It is being upgraded. The confusion is temporary. The alignment is permanent. Trust the assembly. Take a slow breath. Feel your body where you are. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the moment holding you. Here is the truth your soul already knows. Nothing is falling apart. It's all coming together. Not all at once, not on your timeline, but in perfect order. What's leaving was never meant to stay. What's arriving couldn't come sooner. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are in the middle of a sacred rearrangement. If this message resonated with you, let it land. And if you feel called, like and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but for your own alignment, your own clarity, your own becoming. The pieces are moving, and they are moving for you.